For this next project, you're going to create a character using Photoshop in the style of Mr. Potato Head. And if you've ever played with Mr. Potato Head before, you know that you usually have a bin of pieces and you're able to take the pieces and put together a finished Mr. Potato Head character. You're going to do the same thing using images you find using Google image search. You're going to get those pictures into your student folder and then use Photoshop to take an arm from one character, an arm from another character, a head from a different character, a torso from a character, and a pair of legs from another character, and you're going to put all those together. And you also do have to include an accessory, something that the character might be holding or using. Those are all the pieces that you're gonna find and use in Photoshop. You will have a rubric. The rubric explains the different pieces that you do need to get, as well as how to get a good grade on this. On the back side, when you're using Google image search, you do need to cite where you got your pictures from, and I'll show you that in this next part. So let's get started. So let's say I wanted to look for a picture of something related to Darth Vader. When you do a Google search now, this is also a time to point this out, they've added a left-hand navigation area. So now I've searched, and yes, these are websites related to what I typed in, but over here on the left side you can also click images and it'll take you right to the images related to your topic. You want to think about what piece of the character you're going to end up using. So let's say, maybe I'll narrow my search down and do helmet. And let's say I want to find a size that is a little bit bigger, because I know I'm going to be working in a 1000 pixel by 1000 pixel space. When you look at the images here, it tells you in pixels what the size is of the original picture. So I can also use my left-hand navigation side to choose larger than, so knowing that this is going to be a bigger image, maybe I'll choose something that's at least 640 by 480. Let's say that this is a picture I want right here, and this one looks to be pretty big, so I'm going to go get that. Hopefully it comes up. There we go. So now when you get to the actual full-size image of the picture, you have to do a right-click and choose Save Image As, and you're going to save this to your students folder. Now we've been doing that all along. Maybe make a folder specifically for this. Once you get in there, you can click New Folder. Maybe call that folder Characters or Character, and make sure you label the file so that you know what it is. Now you're not done. After you save the file, make sure you go up and get the actual URL that the file is from. Now this looks like this one is from a specific web number. We're not going to use that. If when you're finding images, you can look underneath, and all I care about is the domain that you got the image from. So for example, this one's from thestarstore.com. You're going to put that on your citation sheet that I gave out in class, and if I didn't give it out, there's extra copies on the cart. If I grabbed this image, I would just need to mark down that I got this from unitedmask.com. That's all I care about, knowing what website it came from. Okay, so go ahead, grab your character pieces, grab your images, get them into your folder, and then we'll go on to the next step. Alright, so here I am loaded into Photoshop. One thing to point out, and this is a good tip and this is not in the handout, to make sure that you have all the tools loaded correctly, you can go up to Window and choose Workspace and choose the Essentials. And what that does is it makes sure that we're all working with the same menus, the same tools loaded, so that when you're working on your screen and I talk about moving things around, you see the same thing I see. Now after doing that, one of the things we're going to use a lot in this is the Layers area, and you can see the layers are down here in the bottom right. This area here in the middle, we're not going to use the adjustments or the masks, so this toolbar you can actually drag out of there and close it, and that'll make it a longer area for your layers as we work. To start your project, you're going to go to File, New, and you're going to make sure the width of this, a good width to start with, is 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels. Make sure this says pixels. Otherwise, if it says inches, you're working in a totally different and a larger area, and it'll take a lot longer for things to save. So I'm going to do 1000 by 1000, hit OK. And so that's going to open up just a blank working area. Right away you should do a File, Save As, save this to your student folder, and you're going to do this as last name character, last name dash character. Make sure you save this as a Photoshop document, a PSD. And so for right now I'll just throw this on my desktop so I have a place to save. And this is the blank canvas that you're going to be working in. Now, I've already got one started over, let's see here, where is my, go back over to my demo. In the layers area, I'll just show you kind of what a finished product would look like. I'll turn on each of my layers by clicking the little eyeball next to each layer. This is kind of what a finished product could look like, where you've got an arm from one character, an arm from another character, you have a torso from a different character, a head from a different character, a pair of legs, you can just do a pair of legs from a character, and then some kind of accessory, which I have here is the Coke bottle. In the end, we'll add a background, we'll add text. I won't show you that today, we'll get to that later. For right now, you should have downloaded, up until now, you should have some pictures already downloaded. So I've taken some pictures and I've already used my selection tools over here on the left side. Again, the lasso tools. You can use the freehand lasso or the polygonal lasso, and you're going to draw around a lot better than I did in the sample and actually get in here and select in the legs if I was going to use the legs. Once that's selected and you close that loop to make the selection animate like this, you're going to do a copy or Command C on the keyboard to copy that, and you're working up here. I've got different files open, so I'm going to go over to my workspace area and I'm going to paste. So that'll put the legs in. I can use my move arrow and move that into position. I don't think I have a torso yet. I've got an arm. So I'm going to, and I've already done my selection, selected around this. I would actually go inside the claws here, make this as close to it as I can. Again, you can erase out some stuff later. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put this into my workspace, and I'm going to move that somewhat into position. And I'm going to get my head, which I did a sloppy job of. I expect you to do a better job. And I'm going to copy that and paste that over. And now this head is way too big, so just as a reminder, you can change the size. I'm on a layer, and as you bring your layers in, I should point this out. Right now I'm on layer 3, which is the head. You can click over here right where the text is in the layer. You can do a double click to change the name of this so that you know what layer is what. So now I'm clicked on the arm, I believe, and I can move this just to make sure. Yep. So I'm going to make this the Wolverine arm. And this will be my legs, and it's, oops, if you double click, if you're not right on the text, you actually go into some properties, so make sure you click on the text. And so I'm going to go back to my head layer. I'm going to go into the edit menu, and just like we did in the last project, I can use the transform menu to scale. And what that does is it turns on the properties for me to scale. Now when you grab the corner, you might accidentally run the risk of disorienting your object. A good tip for this is to remember to hold the shift key when you grab the corner, and it proportionately changes the helmet. So I'm going to make the helmet what I think is good size. I'm going to hit return and kind of move that into position, move my arm into position, go find my torso and start putting this together. You can use the eraser tool, and again, when you erase right now, if I wanted to erase some stuff on the legs and I'm doing like this and I'm clicking and dragging, it's not erasing. And why is it not erasing? Because I'm clicked on the arm layer. So make sure you are clicked on the correct layer before you start doing any of your editing. That should get you far enough. You can start putting your pieces together. Make sure you save this and save often. And if you get this maximize compatibility screen, you can just click OK. And I'll show you some of the other steps later with closing and flattening your image and putting a background in and putting some text in. So that wraps it up for this project. You can use the handout that is also located on the Ning that gives some more detailed step-by-step directions, and I'll show you some advanced features as we continue on in this project. Thanks for watching.